I gotta. It's not a conspiracy. It's the truth. But we could open with that.
Okay. You're like, well, we're live, so open away.
Oh, okay. Well, it's
Hello,
like
everybody.
you know they make special Pepsi cans for ads because you need to be able to hold the can like this and drink it. And in normal Pepsi cans, you can't do that, right? The it's in a different angle because it just slaps it on.
Yeah.
So they must make specifically cans with the top shifted to the side. That way I could be like, Pepsi Zero, not only the most delicious drink I've ever had, but also no calories. Then I spill on myself because it's at the wrong angle. So I have to turn it away from me.
So you're the marketing genius. You should be the one leading this, I feel like.
If they want to, if Pepsi wants to hire me as a marketing, like the head of marketing for just a month until I'll take the paycheck for a month. They'll fire me because I'm bad at the job, but I will gladly take that $50,000 a month kind of, or maybe more, who knows?
Yeah.
Like I'll take any job that I'm unqualified for just for the paycheck at least once.
Absolutely.
If it's enough, you know?
Yeah, you just try for it.
Sorry, it didn't work out, guys. I guess I'll take my $15,000 signing bonus and go back to being a janitor.
You know what? It's this whole sponsor thing reminds me. So I watched this YouTube channel called Trent the Traveler, and he's a guy who just travels the world in his camper van, right? And he also has a separate gaming channel where he plays like, you know, the horror games that like 1 hour longs that are on like Steam or whatever. And so his regular kind of camping one was an episode yesterday. And he goes into an ad, and I shit you not, it was Raid Shadow Legends. And you could tell by the way that he did the ad that he has never played this game before. Like at all. He took the paycheck and ran. And I'm not even going to hate on him for that because it's not like I didn't, you know, love my Raid sponsorship while I had it. But I thought it was the funniest thing. So I'm like, I played the game long enough to know for a fact you never logged in. Like
this is the number one RPG in the entire world. It's like, no, it's RPG. I already said RPG. I'm moving on.
Well, he's like Enzio's my favorite because, you know, he debuffs, and I'm sitting there going back. I'm like, I have him. I don't remember him really debuffing in a grant. I mean, he does poisons, but it's not like a debuff, like in a traditional sense. It's just a bleed. It was the funniest thing to me.
And it's like, yeah, well, it's like that makes 95% of the cast that does debuffs.
Yeah.
Even like the 1-star with one skill, it'll be an auto attack that has like a 20% chance to apply slow or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like some super basic thing.
Oh yeah. I actually, so
funny. Anyway, this is not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
No, it's not.
His video was, which is why we're talking about it.
Yeah. I would love to pick up another sponsor. I wish we could get someone to sponsor the podcast. I think that would be fun.
I think that would be, well, it would be, hopefully it would be lucrative, but even if it wasn't, it would be fun. Yeah. Like just to randomly in the middle, me and Laliette, you probably don't know Laliette. That's, I always assume my friends know each other. He used to play Dragon Quest Tact with me. Kage knows Laliette.
Okay.
Me and him were doing a podcast for Pokemon Pocket when that came out, and we did a fake sponsor. We had AI help us generate a fake sponsor every month or every week. So we're like, all right, and this episode is brought to you by Nidoking hides. Find your Nidoqueen today using Nidoking hides. You know, like it would be some fake sponsor.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun too.
I don't think people realize how much effort it takes to get a sponsor. Like if you're in this space, you're pretty much guaranteed after about 5,000 subs to eventually have a Raid Shadow Legends call you because they just cast the net out, right? And they have so much money for them that they can do that. But if you exclude them, because they're like the special case, like the amount of outreach you have to do, because there's no company like sitting around looking for my channel, looking for your channel. Like maybe if you have enough coverage of a specific game, that company might contact you, but like I've never been contacted by Atlas, right? And like it's like a part-time job, just writing emails, researching products, going to them and saying, hey, you know what, I think I'd be good for you, just to get ghosted. Like there's so much that goes into that in the background.
That's why agencies are so like, well, I don't like agencies for the most part, but like why a good agency, because they have the contacts. Because right now I'm going to their contact us page and it's going to go where they're getting 100,000 spam emails. They're never going to see it, right? Like, so just even being able to actually have a person see that you're interested and take the time to read the email and see if you're actually qualified is like that's such a big hurdle to overcome. Oh, yeah. And so many things you want to be, hey, I would like to do a sponsorship. It's like, yeah, check out our affiliate programs. Like I'm not looking for an affiliate. I don't want to push your products for free. I want to be a sponsorship, you know, which in, you know, if you're not aware of the differences, viewer, it's just like affiliate, they give you a link, people use your code, you get paid based on that, and sponsorships will pay you, and then there's usually an affiliate on top of that as well.
Yep, exactly. Oh yeah, and Larry's saying, there's probably a lot of scam companies. I probably get 5 or 6 scam sponsor emails a day. And you can always tell because they always come from very specific email addresses, or like the way that they're worded, it's like super over generic. And then it's like, if you just click this link, you can look at the product and see if you want to pitch it. And I'm like, yeah. And then my computer gets stolen or whatever. Like, it's pretty obvious, thankfully. But there's been a couple, like that Star Desk one I did. That one actually went to my spam folder, but they were just specific enough because they had some very specific notes about Arknights. And I'm like, okay, this one might be legit. So then I had to actually go and research them. But like that alone took an hour, right? Oh, I'll send you $50 to be your sponsor on the podcast. Your only condition is you have to have your name on top. For $50, I'd put your name on top. Of course I would. Paid in exposure. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The only companies I'm currently doing gear trade for is Red Dragon. So you guys know, obviously I pitched them quite a bit, but I mean, they've literally upgraded half of my peripherals now. And they're actually sending me their MMO mouse right now. And so I'll be doing a guide video for that, which is kind of fun. And then Insert Coin Clothing, like a couple times a year, I talk to a contact over there and they send me some stuff to pitch, but like their clothes are like super good quality. And this particular podcast isn't sponsored by them, but if you're on the podcast or the live stream last night, you saw some of my new gear. But like those two, it's like things I would actually use. And so I don't mind. But everyone else, I'm like, look, the amount of time it takes to film, edit, get you to approve it, and then you want it listed or launched on Thursday, but you didn't get back to me until like Wednesday at midnight, and then you want a revision before Thursday. I'm like, that shit is stressful, and I'm not going to do it for free. It's too much.
I don't mind doing a one-off. Like maybe I'm different than other content creators. Maybe I'm not, but it's like I don't mind doing a one-off sellout for something that's a legitimate product, even if I don't like it. Because I feel like it's like, people don't really care. I don't influence people that much. But if it's like a sustained, like, hey, we want you every week to do something, that's where I'm like, I need to really, really enjoy the product, because it becomes feeling like my issue with doing something like Raid, and it's not that I didn't like the game necessarily, it just wasn't really clicking for me after like a month. And it was for that, I'm like, this starts to feel like a job. You got to be careful when money gets involved in something that you do because you love it. It could be like, now I feel like I have bosses. Like I already have bosses. I go to work, 9 to 5 with my bosses. I don't need my hobby to also have bosses. So
exactly.
But that's why I always try to, like, I'm always like, hey, if anyone knows anyone from Factor, reach out to me. It's like my dream sponsorship. I'll do it for free. You just got to send me. If you send me the meals, I'll do the sponsorships. I promise.
Oh yeah.
Because
I probably would.
Me and my girlfriend would use it all the time.
That's the thing.
I love Factor.
Oh yeah, I would to not have to meal prep my lunches, especially as I'm about to do a whole big fitness kick. Like, oh my god, like that would be nice. But yeah, and it's
so good.
I don't think we meant this to start off as all sponsors, but it's a little bit of a behind the scenes into like what content creators go through, because I don't think people realize too, when we make these videos, like we were talking about this right before the stream started. We had the Arknights dev thing today. In that video, to watch the whole thing was 40 minutes, and I watched the whole thing because A, I like the game, and B, I'm covering it. And to get down to what ended up being a 17-minute video, I spent 2 hours on footage, and then probably another 30, 40 minutes in total of editing, packaging, making a thumbnail, loading it, checking it, all that other stuff. And so the amount of work that goes into most content creators' videos, unless they have, editors and stuff, in which case they're paying for those people, it is nice to get a sponsor to recognize you and be like, hey, I'm getting a little something back, right? Like it is nice to be a hobby, and I do this out of passion, but also it's nice to know that there's a little bit of value on the other side sometimes.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it takes me I make 15 to 20 minute videos, maybe 25 minutes. And it's usually like a couple hours to make any individual video on any day, regardless of how many views it's going to get. And that's kind of the process. We could do a whole podcast on content creation. Honestly, like I've been doing it for over 12 years now. I know, like, I'm not saying I'm some pro, but like, I know a lot more than when I started. I think most people kind of understand. I don't necessarily understand how long it takes to make a video, but I do think that like people have a rough understanding of like, well, maybe they don't. I've been in it so long. Maybe people have no idea what the other side looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes what makes it less obvious is like, if I So like, I think it's probably Wednesday. We have the live stream for the next P5X version. I will undoubtedly finish watching that and immediately cut into making a video, and I will launch that within an hour or so. And so like sometimes things like that make it seem like there's not a lot to it, but it's like, yeah, it's little things like the entire time I'm taking notes while trying to engage with chat, while trying to engage with Discord, which is why I don't tend to cover those live also because they're at like freaking 5 a.m. But like there's a lot of like you learn this as you go through content creation. There's a lot of prep work you do. And like that on stuff like that, if you want to be the first of the races, which you kind of have to be on those kinds of videos, that you already have to know about what you want to talk about, what you want to skip from it. You can't like watch the video for an hour and a half and then be like, well, now let me figure my life out, because then you've lost 2 hours at that point.
Yeah, and like it feels for me now, I'm at the point where it's like I will easily lose track of time when I'm doing stuff. Like when I'm editing, especially like I've gotten way more in depth in editing thumbnails just in general. Not that they're good, but if you just take a look where I was 12 years ago with not even uploading a thumbnail to where I'm at now, it's like there's been quite a big range. And because I've done it so many times, it's kind of like it's almost like reading a book where it's like, whoa, where'd that half hour go? It's like even I underestimate how much time it could take. But as you build your habits, like I could do things way faster than I used to. But instead of making it take shorter, I usually spend that time like now doing more than I was before. So my bad thumbnails and my no video editing were taking me roughly the same amount of time, but now I'm much more efficient. So I could do more in that same amount of time than I was before.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a thing, Mr. B said this and in one of his many interviews, but someone was asking him, what is your advice to getting into content creation? And his answer was to make 100 videos and try to improve something small in every video for those 100 videos. And then when you get to that 100th video, then ask the questions. And I love it. I love that concept because I'm quite a few hundred, episode or videos in on my channel now. And I'm still very much like, oh, I could edit this smoother. Oh, this effect doesn't make sense. Oh, I'm going to change this thumbnail style. Oh, I need to recognize I say certain words too frequently and cut those out, or I have certain voice patterns that I can tell just probably feel like filler even though it's just the way I speak. And you start to really figure out those pieces, and that's before you even dig into like the analytics and you say, oh, I can see that this is where my audience drops off. Like it's funny, whenever I have a sponsor, you can always look at the graph and it's like view, drop, and then it comes back 10 seconds later. View. And it's like, okay, so I can tell you that's exactly where I consider my sponsor, because most people are just going to skip past that sponsored segment. You don't get a lot of people unless they're just listening in the background. They're like, oh, let me really engage with my 17th, Raid Shadow Legends integration. Like it's just not happening. Let's be real.
If I was a viewer that wasn't a content creator, I'd get upset. Now I don't get that upset, but like I get frustrated when I see in-baked ads. Like I'm paying for YouTube Premium to skip ads, and now I'm watching ads baked into the video itself. So like I'll skip them, but also I tend to watch them because I'm like, I know that they're playing the game, and I also do this sometimes. So it's like I'm kind of part of it. It's like, why don't you use an ad blocker? People ask me all the time, why don't you use ad blockers? Like if I'm gonna make money off of something, I always I have an ad blocker, but on YouTube I don't use it, and I don't use it when I go make tier list and a tier list video for the most part, unless I had it on and I forgot to turn it off. Because it's like if I'm making money, I want to at least support them with their ads. So if you look at all my Mugenic stuff, it's like it's a little maybe cringy, but you'll see me talking about my tier list, and then at the top and on the left, it'll be like the war in Ukraine, support the Ukrainian police force or something like. And it's like these ads all over it. It's all about the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
But I'm like, whatever. They're getting paid for people to see that. I would rather add value to their website than just pretend like there's no ads, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like, speaking of YouTube Premium, because I've never subscribed to it, I feel like if you get, and maybe it's not the 10,000, maybe it's like a 25,000 or 50,000 subscriber count, but I feel like if you get to a certain count of subs in YouTube, they should give those creators premium for free. Like
you would think so. I mean, even X does that, right? Doesn't X give
I don't know.
bigger creators they give people like a verified thing once you have enough?
Honestly, I don't know, because I have like 500 followers on X. I have like such a small following.
I have like nothing. My understanding is like celebrities and stuff don't need to pay, right? They're not giving X $5. They just like auto verify them because it's like, oh, this is like a noteworthy person or something that we don't want people
Brad
like
Pitt on there.
Yeah, they don't want a fake Brad Pitt to be verified or something. But what I will say, you've probably noticed this, but it's something I've noticed more and more over time. But nothing will make you maybe not self-conscious, but more self-aware of your habits and speech habits than editing your own
Oh
videos.
God, yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times I'm like where I'm just like every time I say so, I'll start everything with so, and then I'll edit out the so. I've started editing out the
Mm-hmm.
so more in my videos, and it just flows better. Like
Yep.
it just makes, and I'm like I'm trying to be more. So now when I'm making videos, I'll be like, so now when I'm making videos, now, I'll go so. I'll like stop myself. I'll realize that I just said it to an extent. I'm becoming
Yep.
more aware of it. Then I will continue the sentence like without using that word. And
Mine.
it's really tough. And also how much I touch my face and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mine has been the word okay. And it comes from like I think teaching my kids because I have to pause and check for understanding constantly. And it's like, hey, this is how you cook this thing. Do you understand? Okay. And like then they respond. It's like a give with my kids and I. And I find myself doing it when I'm in those teaching moments in a video. I'm like, and so this happens, okay. And now I'm the same thing. Like I try to find those spots and I cut them. And what's funny is you like you know how you see like the audio waves in your edit. I can see
Mm-hmm.
when I say the words so and okay. Those three words have the like same pattern to me. And I can always tell in like a audio clip like when I'm saying it. So I can go like right to it and be like, yep, I guarantee I know what I'm saying right there.
Yeah, you get the visual. Like that's what's so funny about editing videos is like it would be so much harder to do blind, and not from the video standpoint, but you need to be able to see the waves of the audio,
Hmm.
like in order to know where your breaks are. Like when it's still look, because I'll put in a big video, and while it's loading, like I could click through it, but while it's loading the sound aspect, if it's like a stream that I'm trying to edit a clip out of, like I'm like I just can't even edit it because I can't tell like where anything is at. So
Yeah.
so it's interesting when there's a bunch of you actually the audio is super important. That's why if you see like people do not bad editing, but they'll miss something, it'll just be people talking out about it. And then I got over here, they'll just like clap in the mic and then they'll keep talking. It's because that's the signal to the editor that
Hmm.
like, hey, they made a mistake here, edit to this point. So you'll make a really loud sound spike. I do silence, but
Yep.
the sound spike's probably better, but I'm a bad clapper.
You don't have good clap.
I
I
used
do the
to.
silence too. Like I do a quick pause. Oh, these stupid robots. I'm like doing the dungeon clearing while we're talking. But you said like the whole voice thing, and that is so true because to me it's ironic because I'll have people tell me or make comments on the video that they like my voice or they find it calming or soothing, and like I always smile when people say that because I hate my voice, like actively hate my voice, and I think part of it is because I've had so many years of speech therapy just to be able to speak, period, and then like it always sounds so I don't know, like nasally, I guess would be the word I use. And so I don't actually love my voice. And so then like I go through the edits, I'm like, oh, I gotta listen to myself. How do people stand listening to me?
And I will say I'm way worse at speaking when I'm following. There's something about a script or attempt, like even if it's not a script, but I'm like, all right, I want to start this with like incest is back on the menu, boys. Was like the opening to one of my videos a couple days ago, and I kept saying incest is back on the. I could say it no problem, but the second I feel like I'm supposed to say it, I lose all of the ability to say it correctly. And I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I do know when I'm trying to not speak naturally, it falls apart so quick. And
Yeah.
I tried on a YouTube short. I was this most recent YouTube short. I was gonna say unassuming, but I kept saying unassuming. Like, eventually I just left it in. It's like he may look a little asunume or something, and I'm like I can't try it anymore. I can't say unassuming if I feel like it's in a script.
Yeah. I absolutely cannot script. I tried it a few times to see if it was something that would make sense for me. And so the most that I'll do is I'll take like notes. I'll have like bullet points next to me where I'm like, "Oh yeah, remember to talk about this, remember to talk about that." But it feels way too unnatural and it reminds me of work in a sense that like if I'm in a room, like a big meeting, and somebody clearly doesn't know what they're talking about, like the cadence of their voice and their speech patterns changes and I lose confidence in them. And if they really know what they're talking about, they can just rattle off top of their head and you can see that like the topic is natural to them. And I just picture myself from a viewer's perspective. If I'm rambling and I don't know how to keep my thoughts coherent and I'm clearly reading off a script, I would lose confidence in that person. Like it's too forced at that point.
Yeah. The max what I do is I'll do bullet points so I don't forget like a specific thing that I want to talk about. But that is something I'm working on myself as well. One, saying so, but also the rambling. Like I know I used to do videos, I couldn't make things under 40 minutes. I wouldn't shut the hell up. Now I am getting better, but I still am working on keeping things more concise. Because honestly, videos that are shorter just almost always outperform videos that are longer.
100%.
With some exceptions, like there are like I watched a 4-hour Final Fantasy X video about like a retrospective, and like that's like kind of the point of the video, that it's a really long video. But if you're just trying to do like a tier list, you're trying to do it. Sorry, I got a hiccups. You're trying to do a guide, then it's like people do it like 26 minutes. I don't know. It's like 8 minutes, bro. Let's click it. I'll be in and out really quick. You know. So you could even make 2 versions of the same video, and the shorter one will do better.
Oh yeah, and I think a lot of it too, it depends on, like, podcasts obviously can go longer. People anticipate listening to a podcast for an hour, sometimes 2. And a lot of times things like podcast type content is held in the background. And because I will listen to podcasts at work, and I won't necessarily actively hang on every word. But for the next hour, I kind of like the idea that I don't have to change the radio or whatever. And I might, catch a certain phrase and it perks my ears up. I'm like, okay, let me sit back and listen for just a minute. And then on other stuff, like I won't name names in content creation because a lot of these people I consider to be like good colleagues or whatever. There's some people that I don't like to watch, even though I support them, because it will take them 6 minutes to get to the first point. And I'm like, if that's driving me crazy, I got to imagine there's other people that are driven crazy by it too.
There's old YouTube, which isn't done anymore, but things that I'll see that I want to like give advice to someone, but I also don't want to give advice that no one asked for. But intros, long ass intros, they're dead now, but still, like I'll still see some people do them. And like there's one guy that like when I was playing Dragon Quest Tact, and he was like a relatively decent content creator in some aspects, but it was like a 50-second intro of this anime thing playing and this and then his name showing up on the screen. I'm like, I'm sorry, but this sucks. It doesn't matter how good it is. Oh yeah, it sucks. It's not what I want to see.
People's attention is like TikTok long. It's like 4 seconds.
I'm very big on giving people compliments, but like I'm also very bad about specifically bad mouthing anyone in particular. Because again, it's a coworker. I don't mind giving a coworker praise, but I don't want to be like, well, this guy sucks. Yeah. But a perfect example of like Darth microtransactions. Yes. He plays like
I love him.
D4. He has I don't really watch his videos. I used to kind of like him, but I don't know. I just like other people in the ARPG space more. But whenever he does like a top 5 video, he said something as good as like, I cut out all the crap. The first words out of my mouth if I'm doing a top 5, like 5 tips video is number 1. I will always start that video with number 1 is X. And then like I've watched and it's like, yeah, he will say number 1 is X. And then maybe he'll have a quick aside after point 2 or after point 1. Be like, if this is the kind of video you like, then go ahead and like and share it. But I tried doing you could actually see the inspiration if you see some of my old Persona videos of like, oh, here's 5 tips in like under a minute, right? Under 2 minutes. Here's like 5 things you may not have known in Persona. That kind of stuff is, even if it's not your main content, it's a very fun like exercise and challenge. Yes. But take that kind of stuff to heart where it's cutting out the bull crap. And I need to remind myself all the time, like I'll be recording a video and I'll be 3 minutes in and I haven't really started what the point of the video is yet. And I'll be like, I scrap it. Yeah. Like I just start over. Hey guys, welcome back with the plat. Like let's get to it in half the time this time,
We should make a video and have like one of those cool 1997 intros or 2001 intros, but then just do 10 of them in a row. Like never actually start the video. Just have like 10 different intros. And just see how long people stay.
Really, really long 6-minute intro. And then it'll just be like, I don't know. It's like P6 is still not announced. Damn it. It's like, that's it. It's like, like Persona 6 news update question mark. And then it's a 6-minute intro and be like, not yet, but it's like, or the creator said it's in the works. And then it's done. A 4-second video with a
Yeah.
6-minute intro.
I think that'd be fantastic because some people would totally get the humor of that, and I bet you would at least get people through 3 of them because it'd be so confusing. They'd be like, what the heck is going on? Like they wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
I used to do April Fool's videos just for like
Ooh.
gotcha games I was playing.
Yeah.
And that would be like a good one. It's actually only a month away, so maybe I'll do one this year. I don't know,
I
but
might copy you. I might steal your idea.
there is a like for my Dragon Quest Tactical, my favorite one. They have characters. So most gotcha games will have 2 rarities of characters or something, right? They'll be like the 4 stars and the 5 stars. Some will do the 3, 4, and 5 stars. Dragon Quest Tact had like F, D, E, C, B, A, S. Like it had everything. Like it had all these letters, like 9 different ranks, and you only use the top 2. But I was like, all right, I'm ranking every character in the game. I just the S rank, A rank, B rank, C rank, and I just organized them by what their letter was in the game. So I didn't actually talk at all. I just sat there with a blanket, and I just like the S ranks all went into the S, and the A's all went into the A's. The B's went into the B's, and it was the most useless, dumb video I'd have ever done.
I should make
like
trolley
kind of
videos for tier lists because I fundamentally dislike tier lists just because I feel it removes the agency from the player to make a decision on what they enjoy. And so, I mean, yeah, if you want to be like the top player in a gacha game, fine, whatever, you kind of need to do it. But otherwise, I'm like, I'd rather teach you how to understand the game than tell you go pull these 3 characters. I don't see the value in that in a lot of situations. But I should make a tier list that's like, what would be a good one for Persona? Like highest ranking pedophile romances in Persona. Because there's some in this game.
It's like yeah, I mean, Phoebe is obviously way up there.
She's double S.
I assume it's more like double D. Am I right? Let's go Phoebe. But I mean, I think it's not illegal in Japan. I think Wonder 17. Which
Isn't it 16? I think in Japan.
I think it's
someone
16
told me that
is age. I think it's like kind of 18, kind of 16. I don't remember. But whatever. The point is, it's still creepy. She's getting drunk. She's like, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you.
She has the biggest
wasted.
drunk texts. She's constantly like saying some stuff in those texts. But what did it say? Thoughts?
And I'm sure there's others.
Someone said for me to do that tier list. Maybe I will. Maybe that'll be my April Fool's tier list.
Number 1, Kamoshida.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we got a couple questions. So someone's asking me what I think of Koromaru in P5X. Did you see the preview for the dog from Persona 3 in P5X the other day? It's the other version.
Have not.
Okay.
They're adding. So they're going back to Persona 3.
Yeah. So Koromaru is their next unit. It's going to come out here in a couple of days. So
they did Persona 4, right?
They have not done Persona 4 yet. They won't do that until the remake.
It's interesting that they're going back to Persona 3, I guess. I mean, that's kind of cool. The dog is nice.
Yeah.
I personally am like, I'm not a Persona 3 hater, but I don't think any of the characters of Persona 3 are particularly likable or good. So
yeah.
I'm a little bit of a Persona 3 hater because I played it after Persona 4 and 5, and I was like, this Persona 3 is clearly way effing worse than all those games. Yep. But it also, keep in mind, I haven't played Remake. I know Remake adds a whole new fresh coat of paint on everything, and I'm sure the characters are way more developed and interesting. But like in the original, it was like they just like didn't talk that much. There wasn't a lot of character development. There was like these scenes of this guy that looked like Jesus, and it was so edgy. Like most of the game I thought sucked, but it was very fun, which is what I liked.
It's way too easy. P3R, I don't think you'd hate it because of story reasons. I think you would hate it because it's like brain dead easy. After you get past like the first couple fusions, like it's just there's never a challenge again in the rest of the game. Now maybe there's like a more merciless mode because I didn't play on the hardest difficulty, but even still, like just the way that the game structures itself, you would have a hard time convincing me that the hardest difficulty is that hard in that game.
It frustrates me because like I identify Persona 3 as the hardest RPG I've ever played in my life.
And then P3R might be the easiest.
and like, keep in mind, I've played every single RPG you could think of on the hardest difficulty, right? Like, I can't think of, most RPGs are not hard. Very, very few are actually difficult. Mm-hmm. In Persona 3, I was like, fuck, man, this thing is hard. Yeah. Because you have AI controlled party members. They do whatever the hell they want. They screw up everything constantly. The enemies hit for like, the enemies, just a normal enemy can like one shot your whole team if you do like, oh, you don't know their weakness, well, you hit them with wind, they reflected wind, now they one shot your whole team because you lost your turn, and
Mm-hmm.
good luck going back, an hour and a half save, bozo. That game was really, and the final boss was harder than the super boss. To
Yeah.
beat the game story, like the Reaper guy was like a piece of cake. You farmed him to get ready for the final boss of the game, and the final boss was still really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very frustrating. Not frustrating. It's okay for a game to be easier, but for me, that's such a core part of its identity from what I played of it,
Mm-hmm.
that all the different versions of that game have kind of lost that.
I miss, and this, I think this is more of a classic RPG thing. I don't feel like I've felt this in like the last 10 years, but old school, like maybe Super Nintendo, early PlayStation era RPGs that just had brutal end bosses. Like I remember, and granted I was a kid at the time, but playing Final Fantasy VI and Kefka, getting to him, and he had what, is it 3 forms that he has maybe? And he fucked me up.
I'm trying to remember.
Or then like they had a super boss in Final Fantasy V. It was Omega, and he looked like a little metal spider just unassumingly on a map somewhere. And you go to him and he's like, haha, you're not ready for me. And he just blows you up. Like you're done. Like the first time you see him, you're never going to beat his ass.
I love that. It's like when you go fight Emerald Weapon or Ruby
yeah.
Weapon in Final Fantasy VII, you're like, what the hell just happened? And I mean, even Final Fantasy X has like things like penance in like the super late game. Like
Final Fantasy X has some really good bosses. Like the first time you fight, was it Seymour?
Yeah, the only time Seymour is easy is the second time, but like the third time on Mount Gagazet, holy shit, that's like one of the hardest. That point of the game is actually like the pinnacle for me of good like RPG difficulty.
Yes.
Going from Mount Gagazet to the dragon before Xanarkin to Unalesca, like these 3 fights back to back are like brutal, bro. Those are like really, as a casual playthrough, these fights are super hard.
Yes.
So I love Final Fantasy X.
So yeah, someone's pointing out that I didn't actually give my opinion on Koro. True, I did not. So my thoughts on Koro. So I will preface this by saying I have not finished studying his whole kit, but I like the fact that in a lesser way he has Futaba's gimmick of giving weakness implant, but it's only for those 3 elements. I do, however, find it weird that he is a curse unit who doesn't do that mechanic for the curse element. That seems, it feels weird to me. Like, I don't know why they didn't give him curse. But otherwise, I mean, he is still a dog, and dogs are epic. So you've got that going for you. So I love him for that. Yeah, I mean, reason.
It's fair. We got Morgana, although he's like a literal dog.
Yeah,
he's like the mascot, but he's also actually just a dog.
Yeah,
although I think he's really smart. I think he I don't remember if he talks or not, but he definitely has like human level intelligence.
Yes. He doesn't talk, but he does. He has like really good empathy. Like he's a cool character. So I like him. As far as there was a question if it changes my pull plans, that is so far away that it's impossible for me to say. Because part of my pull plans, and I make no secret about this, part of my pull plans is directly tied to income, right? So I have a certain amount of money I'll spend on this game if I have no sponsors. And I have a certain amount of money I will spend on this game if I do have sponsors. And right now I don't have sponsors. If Raid Shadow Legends was still giving me the bag they were giving me before, I would probably still pull every character because I would have the means to do so. So I don't want to kind of go out a year and a half from now and say, oh, I'm going to do this or not do this on Koro when so much can change in that time frame. So I know it might feel like a cop-out answer, but he's too far away for it to even be a plan in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what do you mean? What do I plan a year and a half from now? Maybe I won't. Like I don't.
Should the game
Who
could
cares?
be
who cares about a year and a half from now? You find out like a month in advance. I understand maybe free to play players need to plan this far out in advance, but just like to me, it's like that much foresight and future planning for like a video game feels like it sucks all the fun right out of it. Like, well, okay, well, I'm not gonna have any fun for a year and a half, but then I'll finally have that fun. I'm like, I don't know. That's why I can't be free to play. Like like maybe at launch I can because there's so much stuff going on. Yeah. But then I got to spend. I want to try the new thing, and you could usually get a 1 copy of a character for like I don't know anywhere from $50 to $100, and I'm like, it's expensive, but it's like I'm willing to do that.
God, it's not anywhere near as expensive as freaking Arknight. Somebody else was asking if I thought it should be a good time to come back to Arknight's Enfield because they just had the Dev 1.1 stream this morning or whatever, recorded video. And so here's what I'll say. If you didn't like Arknight's Enfield for things like the pool economy or the general core gameplay of the action open world environment, those things will never change. They're not going to change. They might get slightly better in pool economy, but the one thing I'll say is the free pools that they told us about, I don't believe for an instant that they were additional pools. Because if you look at what they're tied to, one, the standard pools are tied to a mode that already had standard pools. The extra 5 summons per character, we already got those for 7-day logins. That's not new. And so the only ones that were new is they added, I think, maybe 10 to completing a specific chapter. So that's the only place I think they actually give us a new bucket of pulls, which just goes to tell me they're not really interested in like over engineering the economy to make it more player wallet friendly. So if any of those were the reasons why you didn't like the game, then I would still stick away from it. If you just felt there wasn't enough content or something in that kind of respected realm, then no, I think you could come back to it. It's going to have a lot of cool new things coming. Tons of modes, tons of story and everything else. And I think that when 1.1 comes out, it's going to be a great time to play the game. But yeah, if you didn't like action combat, it's always going to be action combat. Like just, it is what it is.
I feel like I'm the only sane person and everyone else is crazy when it comes to part of the pull economy. Even though I'll probably say a hot take, which I think it's a hot take in the community because everyone seems to be mad, but it's like, I think the way they do the weapon banner is like the best way that I want every gacha game to do it going forward.
For Arknights?
Yeah.
Oh,
I hate weapon banners even existing. It's my least favorite thing about a gacha game. Is like now I got to pull the character, now I got to pull their thing. And in Arknights, if I got the character before I got to their weapon, and I'm like, I'll just not have the weapon. That's fine. Now look how close I am to the next weapon. I never needed to spend currency on it. It was just a free bonus whenever I got a chance to get it. I hate that Persona. Well, not Persona. Sorry. Let's talk about every gacha game that exists. I hate weapon banners existing. And so the fact that you have to spend exactly 0 pulls on weapons ever makes me feel like the economy is much more like generous than people would say, because in Persona, I always had to dedicate like, I don't know, 40, 50, 100 pulls, maybe, 70 pulls, 140 pulls to some like weapons. If I want to get one copy of the weapon or over the course of a couple characters, suddenly I'm just spending all this currency on these weapons. And in Arknights, I never had to, like even once. And I love that. Well, I love that I get to just spend my stuff on characters. And then occasionally I get a free bonus weapon.
Yeah, I guess if you look at it from a perspective of you don't care about the weapons and it's just a bonus, like when you finally save enough, then yes. I think that on the other side, for people that want the character with their weapon, it might be the most underhanded weapon system in all of Gacha, because they make it look like you don't have to pull to get the weapon, but you can only really get the weapon if you pull enough 5 and 6-star characters to get the currency to do it. And so the case in point for me, as I'm stuck right now, is I got Yvonne, I got her weapon, great. I wanted Gilberta's weapon, but I got Gilberta in a single 10 pull. So I don't have enough currency to get her weapon, and unless I pull in the next banner, which is a character I don't want to have, I will never have enough currency. And the 6 multis I did in her banner will just disappear. There's no carryover. And so I then have to go for a duplicate character or just throw a bunch of pulls into a banner that has no carryover to the next banner. So it's just lost pulls at that point.
Yeah. That's why I like it. Well, one, I will say the pity not carrying over is scummy, of course, or whatever. I don't know if it does or doesn't, but I heard that the pity doesn't like carry over.
It does. Yeah.
If you
the 120 character pity doesn't carry over.
That's like a literally got you 101 at this point, right? Mm-hmm. But that's where I understand that like I'm the crazy one, but I think everyone else is crazy. It's like just don't get the weapon. It's fine. Yeah. The weapons are free when you finally get up enough. If you want a copy of the character, if you really want a second copy of the character, then go for it. But otherwise, it's like there's too many people that are. And obviously, maybe being a content creator is different, right? There's a different incentive there. But as like just a normal casual player, being a collector in a gacha game is, I think, maybe the worst possible thing you could ever even try to do. It's a silly way to spend insane amounts of money without having any super serious like OP stuff.
Yeah.
And it's gonna cost you a lot. It's gonna end in disappointment. It's gonna end with you not reaching the top of the leaderboards because you don't have any A5s, A6s, and like just collecting in general. Like I could go on a whole rant about this. Like the whole I get mad at collecting in general. That's why my wall is white. You know, the Labubus, the Funko Pops, the limited edition, this, that, or the other thing. Look at this T-shirt that they spent 5 cents designing. Now I need to buy. This one has LaFell and Morgana on it. I got to spend $40 for the limited edition T-shirt. It's like there's always garbage to collect.
Yeah.
And this is just another thing. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to collect this because they're giving it to me for free over a set amount of time.
It's funny because I'll talk about it more on I'm not going to bring up too much, but on my other YouTube channel. But I'm actually like starting to sell off quite a bit of my collectibles and stuff. Even some of my arcade machines I'm selling to like my son. And it's
You're selling your son?
Yes. First thing first. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I heard. It's like I'm selling my arcade machines like my son.
No, I'm selling the machines to my son.
Okay.
Yeah. And, or at least some of them. And it's all because like I'm realizing the things I actually want are very few. Like there's not a ton of things I really want. Like I really want a new pinball machine. That's what I've been saving for like a year and a half now. And I'm like, I never get a chance to play these other arcade machines, but my son likes to come over and play them. And so I might as well have him have it. Like if he wants to buy it, and I'm giving him a very nice price for him, then he can have them and it'll be at a discount and I can put that money towards a pinball machine. But then I was looking around my office and I'm like, okay, I've got a whole box of collectibles that have been in a box for 6 years. Fucking eBay those. I've got a shelf of manga that I'm never going to reread again. And so I might as well like sell those as well. And I'm just like, how much more space can I get, rid of in my office by selling these things and then actually put that money towards the one thing I actually want? I don't know.
Like, this is why, like, I shit on collecting a lot, but like, there's a difference. Like, I'm a collector hater, but like, there's a difference between having walls and walls of just shit that you don't notice and you don't even look past. It's just your background. It doesn't serve a purpose. And like, I have the Legend of Dragoon the making of the Legend of Dragoon on VHS. And I'm not saying this collectible is better than your collectible.
It is.
What I'm saying is I have like 5 collectibles, and every time I see this, I smile. Like I'm so happy to have this individual thing. So I'm not against having things that are important to you, but like if it's important to you when you first see it versus like it's important to you every time you see it is something that I think people should try to reflect on a bit longer before spending money on this stuff.
Yeah.
Like to apply this to Gacha, it's like if a character is really good and they're really good at their weapon, but they're only going to be good for a patch cycle or 2 patch cycles before they're power crept, like do you really care that you have their weapon or you don't have their weapon? Like I don't know. Like I feel like the collection mentality is right now is just getting I feel like it's getting more extreme in society. Like I play Magic the Gathering and I see the Pokemon collectors like doing their thing. I see the Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond people just following people around the country that stock Pokemon cards and buying them out of their Costco's and Walmarts or whatever the second they stock them just to get a shine. I'm like, what is going on? So people are caring. Someone's looking for happiness in the wrong spot. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Someone just asked, is it not normal in the West to sell things? Or is it normal in the West to sell things to your own children, not just give it as a gift? Yes and no. So there's plenty of things I have given my children of very high value. Like, for example, I just gave my youngest my Switch OLED. Just handed it to him because his old one was broken. I'm not using it. I have a Switch 2. I just gave him my Switch OLED, right? I offered to give my motorcycle to my son because he wanted a motorcycle, but he ended up wanting to buy not a new one, but a newer one. And so there's situations, yes, but the arcade machines, I was literally listing them for sale and he wanted them. And so I said, hey, look, the first arcade machine, first of all, I put over $1,000 into. And so some of that was I was going to sell it to recoup it. And so I gave it to him at a very healthy discount for what it was actually going to sell for. And then he wanted 2 of my other ones. And I was like, I'd be happy to sell them to you, but I was intentionally selling these to get a bit of money towards the pinball machine. And so I will come down on the price for sure, but it's not like, it was kind of like I'm going to let him get something that would cost him a whole lot more money elsewhere. And then I'm going to take a hit on what I could sell it for, if that makes sense. But believe me, the amount of stuff I give my children, my wife probably thinks I spoil them.
Never underestimate the power of ownership.
Hmm.
The difference between getting something as a gift, and I'm not, of course, give people gifts and stuff like that, but like if you, as especially as a kid, think about this. Like your dad gives you gifts all the time, and you're in a position now where like man to man or whatever, daughter to father, I'll just say man to man because it's more relatable to me. It's like you get to be on their same level. It's not them coming down to give you, you're on the same level. You're making a transaction. This is your thing now. Your dad can't tell you what to do with your property. Like there's a lot of like self, reliance and worth that can come from simple things like that. And this is like a good time to teach a lesson in that kind of stuff. It's as simple as like, yeah, you can make food for your kids, but if you let them help in the kitchen, or maybe you let them cook, there's a different mindset when they produce the outcome.
Oh yeah.
When they even as a kid, you give them an allowance, they use their allowance to buy something. Yes, you bought it for them, but like there's a whole different mentality to the view of a child. So absolutely, I think selling certain things can be a very, very valuable way to empower your kids to be like self-reliant as well.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. And you got to understand too, like it was a conversation between the two of us, and he's a grown man. Like he lives on his own. He's not like one of my kids in the house, and not that that makes a difference if he's in the house or not, but he's established his own life at this point. And some of it is me teaching him the lesson of, hey, you could spend the amount of money you're going to spend on these things from me, and yes, you're getting out of one heck of a damn discount, but would you rather save your money for your own place? Well, I guess he's at his own place with his mom anyways, but all these other things. So I think there are valuable lessons to be learned in that situation. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to speak to other cultures and what is normal or not normal, because I think that very much is a cultural thing. But I think there's a time and a place to your point, Platt, to give it or to teach it or whatever. And you brought up the food thing, which I think is kind of interesting because I don't cook much food. My wife and I do not cook much food for our kids. They've kind of, we give them the, what is the word I want to use? The respect or the authority over their own bodies. And a lot of times, like, I don't like that kind of food. Now, keep in mind, we mainly only have healthy food in the house anyway, so they're not like at risk of having, bad food. And we're like, okay, well, I'm going to make this for dinner tonight. If you don't want that, that's fine. And like even dinner time, my kids like to come home from school, make themselves a fairly good after school snack, like a pretty big one, and then maybe have a small snack around when we eat dinner. So even stuff like that, to your point, like they know how to cook. My daughter's the best baker I've ever met in my life, which is wild to me. But they feel empowered to make a decision for themselves and not feel governed because I'm the parent, I'm the authority,
Yeah, you don't want to be like me where your dad never cooked ever, and it's like, well, my idea of cooking is, McDonald's or Jack in the Box. Like, I don't know, I've got, which fast food restaurant are we driving to? And that's not to say it's nice to have but it's nice to teach kids independence.
Yeah.
There's some controversial figures for what they've said about other things, but I won't even bring up their name. But there is a point where it's like, when a child is at a stage where they can take on a responsibility, letting them have that responsibility is huge, because there's a huge amount of debt that children owe their parents, even if they consciously are aware of it or not. But you give them food, you give them shelter, you raise them, you take care of them when things go wrong. And so anytime they have a chance to give some of that back by helping you set the table, by helping you cook dinner, by doing stuff like that's very powerful for feeling like not only are they earning skills, but they have a chance to repay some of that insurmountable debt that we all have to our parents,
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'll preface, my kids don't starve, by the way. Like, they can eat the dinner that I make. They're not excluded from eating the dinner. It's more of they are making a conscious choice to eat something else. I'm not going to cook 2 dinners. Like, I'm sorry.
It's like, well, all I ask is you let me know before I start cooking, so I know if I need to make more or not.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, do I need to make enough for 4 people or 2?
Yeah. So, man, we are like way past the video game aspect now. Like, we're getting into some life lessons over here, people.
Yeah, let's talk about.
Well, how's Mugenics going, man? I've watched you pop off and have so much fun with that game.
I've been having a blast. I still haven't beaten it, and I'm 180 hours in, so it's a
Ooh.
pretty long game in general. But I mean, I've beaten many runs, but like I haven't completed the. There's I think there's 3 or 4 credits in the game. I've gotten credits multiple times, but I haven't gotten the final credits.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's been just I'm thinking about playing it. In fact, I'm upset I made content about it because there'll be times where I'm like, I really want to play, but I was like, "Ah, I should save this run for a stream. This is going to be a good one.
Mm,
I should do this on stream. That way, maybe I can make some clips out of it or something." But my only issue with the game right now is that I don't get to play it as much as I want, and I've been playing it almost nonstop since it came out.
yeah.
It helps, of course. I'm sure I'm not unbiased, as my YouTube has been doing probably literally better than it's ever been since
That's
I've started
good.
YouTube.
That's so cool.
Like maybe not literally the best. It's hard to say. There hasn't been much. If it's been better, it's the only other day I've ever gotten more views is when I got view botted by Etheria Restart, and like I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that, but they definitely view botted me, and I don't know why. But it's kind of frustrating because that still is like, here's your peak. You got 200,000 views in 19 minutes. I'm like, wow, what are the odds?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Mugenics is crazy, crazy fun. It's got a very dedicated community, and it's been so nice for me to not be playing a gacha where it's like I don't have all the complaints I have about gachas are just like not in the game at all. There's
Mm,
nothing that's gated by money, nothing that's gated by time other than my ability to play more. There's nothing like, okay, well, next week I'll finally have enough currency to rank up this cat. It's like, no, it's like I've got everything I need. I need to go either farm that or go get that. I need to level this up and do this. I have these objectives, but it's all in the game achievable if I'm able to achieve it.
yeah.
So it's very nice to be completely removed from gotchas for a while. I'm not saying I'm done with gotchas. Like I'm definitely gonna play more Persona when it's like the time feels right. Then
Mm.
I'm definitely gonna play more like when Suikoden comes out, I'm gonna play that. But
I'm looking forward to you
I hope
covering that
that
one. I might have to get into it, but
I'm hoping my YouTube thing will. I don't know how long this will stick. Who knows? Probably not. Mugenics might fall off. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll get bigger because less content creators cover it. But it would be nice to be able to just make content on non-gotchas for a while.
yes.
But I also like I already did. You know, when it comes to like Dragon Quest, that was doing pretty good. When the next Yakuza comes out with Ichiban, that'll be pretty good. They
Mm,
always do pretty good. But this is like something that's like adjacent to like a single player RPG. This
yeah.
is like a strategy game. So I thought I was going to make a different channel. I was going to make a whole second channel to make the content because I'm like, I think this is going to flop. And the first video did kind of flop. And then it just like, boom, it instantly took off and it was
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, it's like that whole picture where it's like the one guy mining and he's like hitting diamonds, the other guy's turning away like an inch from the diamonds. Like that's what YouTube
Yep.
reminds me of because like I look back at my CZN stuff. Like I left that game for my own reasons, but if I actually look back at my content, some of my biggest videos are actually on ZZN, which is wild to me. But you don't know until you look in retrospect. And I thought those videos were performing horribly. And I think they just were
And
slower burns.
it's like, and if videos perform badly, it absolutely will discourage you from making
Hmm.
content. Of
100%.
course, duh.
Yeah.
But like it's also, I'm at the point now between my full time job and just like making YouTube videos. I don't have a lot of time to play games for. I play games for fun, but I
Yes.
don't have a lot of time to play games that I'm not considering making content for. You know, most
Same.
of the time I'm playing a game for content or I'm at work. But even then, like, because with games like eugenics or gachas, like you need the knowledge of just being in the game, playing it all the time to know what you're talking about. And so yeah, it's like I want to play Final Fantasy X again, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. Am I going to be able to find time to play it for
It's
like
the
an
same with
hour a
me and
day,
Strikers.
maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Eugen, you don't have to apologize, my friend, by the way. Like, I don't mind you asking questions about things like that in the culture. It's totally fine with me. I could talk about just about any subject. And if it ever crosses a threshold that I don't think is appropriate for the channel or the podcast, I'll say something. So don't
Anyway,
worry.
Bear, how big your dick? How big your dick, Bear?
I should just answer
Answer-
that just for the funniness of it all.
No, because no matter what you say, I won't believe you.
Well, no
If
matter
you
what I
say
say, it'll
too
be bigger
sl-
than yours. So, you know, that's
Yeah, exactly. It's that's why I say X plus 1 and your X. You know.
Oh, that's so funny. What does the viewer really want to know? You know, the whole other other games aspect, I have been wrestling with this for probably a good 6 months or so now. And I think I need to finally just bite the bullet, and I think I'm going to. So I enjoy gotcha games, and I talked a little bit about this last night on the live. But what I like about gotcha games from a content creation standpoint is that teacher moment. I enjoy giving. I enjoy bringing something of value to a community. And when it comes to video games, that really does come down to knowledge, right? Like, how can I help you understand this aspect of something? And gotcha games just have an ample, especially at launch, an ample opportunity to digest and relay information, right? And so I like that aspect of it. But I'm also getting burnt out on the cycle of gotcha games. And what I mean by that is things like every single gotcha game is play for a week, wait for a pull, get the currency, wait for a week. It's that whole thing. And then you wait X amount of months for whatever the new big content patch cycle is. And that's fine and all, but it's also, it gets a little stagnant. And then on the open world action gotcha games, they all feel the same to me. Like the combat, if I'm going to be completely honest.
That's why I stopped playing all of them. Is like, after I played, I'll let you finish, but Genshin Impact, I'm like, well, it's all just been Genshin Impact, whether it's Wuthering Waves or ZZZ or whatever, the Arc Knights. It's different, but it's all Genshin Impact combat to me, really. Like, it's not different enough for me to care.
Yeah, exactly. It's, I even said this on one of my more recent videos. I'm like, they're all one, combo button, a perfect dodge, and 2 to 3 buttons of an ability. And like somebody was promoting, I'm not gonna say who, but somebody was like repping this next new game that comes out. And I looked at it and I'm like, anime game check, flashy visuals check, perfect dodging check, an ultimate move check, and I'm like, the only thing that could possibly be different at this point is the story and a little bit of the atmosphere. And so I want to shift back into other types of games. And there's 2 types in particular. One is I've really, really enjoyed indie games in the last year or so. Like every one I have played, I've had so much fun in. Ball Pit. Yo, dude, I'm literally going to buy it again on my phone. It's going to be $10, which that honestly is like some of the best $10 you could ever spend. But I'm going to buy it again because I think it's so damn good. And just having it on my phone is so nice because I could be sitting on the toilet having a good time, right? Because we all like to do that.
Yeah, Steam Deck. I use my Steam Deck on the toilet all the time.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, that's what they're made for. And
I'm just being real.
Let's just be honest. And I'm trying to, you guys, so if you guys want a copy of Ball Pit for any particular system, particularly mobile, I have a tweet out there where I was talking to the developer and I was like, I would love to give this away on the channel. And so go respond to that. And I'm trying to get them to give me some codes. Who knows if they will, right? But I'll probably actually play it on stream. I'm probably going to start streaming that one just for fun. Like, not an everyday thing. I don't even think I'll make guides or anything, but I want to start playing some of these indie games for fun, just for whatever. And then on occasion, if it has something that makes sense, like what you do from Eugenics with making guides, like I would love if the next Fire Emblem came out and I made guides on that. I love the Fire Emblem series. Or there's like they announced a new Castlevania. That's my jam. Like I will fuck up a Metroidvania, actual Castlevania.
I'm so excited the last Fire Emblem I thought sucked. That was Engage. I don't know. I just didn't like the characters and stuff. But I am so excited because Three Houses was great. Like Three Houses. I have some very serious issues with Three Houses, but as far as like the straight up mechanics of it, the school, the combat, I thought it was super good. And so I'm really hoping. I love making guides when Fire Emblem comes out. And Triangle Strategy is like another one like that. Oh God,
that's one of my favorite games. Like that game for me, from a strategy standpoint, came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh my God, this is like incredible. Like I want to play that one again. Yeah, and Three Houses to me was like a touch of Persona built into Fire Emblem. And it had a darker story. Like I love anime, but like not everything needs to be like full anime trope. And that's where I think Engage lost it. Is Engage became first of all, it's too easy.
It went so like tropey anime. I don't know, just like the protagonist has dual colored hair. Yeah. And they have the sparkle powers. Everything is like super saturated all the time. And well, I don't know. I just got like, I got sick of it.
I'm all for clever mechanics, but I don't love when a game introduces a clever mechanic and doesn't understand how much they broke the game, because there was a couple rings in that game where if you used the right combinations, you could not lose. Like you could get ambushed. You know those stupid ambush maps, which is the reason I hate the hardest difficulty of Fire Emblems, where it's like you just get ambushed every 10 seconds by like every kind of unit that there exists in the game, so there's no way for you to plan for it. Like they do shit like that, but there were certain ring combos where it's like, fucking come at me, bro. Like it doesn't matter anymore.
It's kind of where I feel even Three Houses started to flirt with it a bit much with like the unit formation like attacks.
Oh,
would
you
be
could
like
break
OP.
some shit with that, yeah.
But like I think Engage also, I went too hard with like, why is this so like broken? Like, why is this so strong? Like sometimes keeping things a little bit simpler can add for way more balance. Like it's fun to do cool flashy stuff, but other you want it to be a fun game first. And if all the flash is just for like, and you just kill everything, it doesn't matter. Like Unicorn Overlord was a great example of it doing it well. Unicorn Overlord is so good. I really desperately hope they do a sequel because it's like you feel like a Zachtronics game almost, or like a programmer in a sense. You're doing if then statements. And with your characters, and it's like the game could be super easy if you really master the system.
Yeah.
But it's also brutally impossible for people that just don't like, they're going in with their traditional mindset of like, all right, well, I have a tank, a healer, a DPS, and I'm just trying to like do this stuff. Like it could be really hard.
Yeah.
But I do love like a game like that has more of a really fun mechanical. The rules are very interesting, and then how you play with those rules will affect your power level, as opposed to like, here's OP item you equip that, you can't lose.
Exactly. Someone's asking if Three Houses is worth playing. I'll say it's up there as one of my favorites. I'm one of the few people that really liked Conquest. That game catches so much shit, but I actually thought it was really good. Especially if you got the pack that had all three games together. Like if you ever got lucky enough to get that one on sale.
I played one of the three. I don't remember which one of the three, but
I thought
Awakening.
Really well
Awakening's my favorite Fire Emblem.
Yes, agreed. I would agree with you there. When Awakening brought in a modern audience, and it really, I think if Awakening didn't do well, that franchise would have died, because there's like the old school, like I played it back on Nintendo Fire Emblem. What is it? The original with Marth. Fuck, I don't remember what it's called. It might have just been called Fire Emblem. But like there's the old school
there's
one.
also Sacred Stones and Fire Emblem, and there's quite a few old ones.
Yeah, but I would, if you can get Three Houses, I'm going to tell you from a graphical standpoint, is kind of ugly. So just be ready for a lot of jaggies as far as the graphics go. But as far as core gameplay loops go, I loved it. Some people don't love the monastery after like 40 hours of it. But even then, if you really hate it, you could just fast forward it. Like it
stays pretty good. In fact, I would say Three Houses is fantastic if, and this is an important if in my opinion, and I may be crazy. I think everyone else is crazy. I think you have to be okay with having a dog shit story. I think the story is the worst unless you play the game 4 effing times to get the whole story. But like I went through, let's say the game at a point has branching paths, right?
Yes.
In the very beginning of the game, you pick a faction you're going with, right? It's Scyther red, Obelisk blue, and Raw yellow. It's just like Yu-Gi-Oh. So you've got like the 3 colors, and you pick one of these you're going with, and that will change the story in the long run. And all 3 of them will tell you a incomplete story of the lore. They'll tell you like a self-contained story, but it like I went with Obelisk blue, and it was, I thought, a terrible story, and it didn't explain, and there was all these plot holes and unleft things like, what about this? What about that? What about this? How did this happen? None of this was addressed even remotely, even a little bit. It's like, well, that's in the other endings. Like, well, I'm not going to play your game 4 times to get a cohesive story. I think that's your effing fault for making a bad story. I'm not going to play. And then, it's all New Game Plus, and then with other additions. Some people, they love that. I feel like it's bad writing and it's bad storytelling. I think they could have found a way to do it better. But mechanically and gameplay-wise and character-wise, I love it. Didi, I think Didi's his name. It's either Didi or Doodoo, but I think it was Didi. Didi Mega Doodoo. He's like my favorite character. He's just like this really badass guy. And all the guys in Obelisk Blue are really badass, besides for one guy named Ash, who has an annoying voice. But the game has a lot of good.
If you're only going to play it one time, my recommendation on houses is to go through, it's called the Edelgard route. And you'll understand what that means if you get, because all the houses, you have the choice piece, like Platt just said, where you get to a point that you pick a house, and that's your story path. There's, if you go to the Edelgard house, then there's an additional branching story option. So if you do the Edelgard route, I think that gives you the most cohesive part of the lore for a single playthrough. Now, obviously, to your point, you got to do all four if you want all the different, elements of it, which even I have not done all four because I don't like the Deer Boy. Like, I'm never going to do his house. I'll just never know that story.
Then they do a dumb DLC with a secret faction that lived underneath. They live underneath. They've been underneath the monastery this whole time. Like, yeah, right, bro. You've just been here the whole time. This is retconned. This is retcon. And I will say again, the game mechanically is, I think, super fun. Like, it's great.
Yes.
And even the story is great up until the point where they all really diverge. And I think at that point, like, there's a point where you'll get where it's like, oh, your choice in the beginning of the game mattered for these three stories. That's when I thought my route was like super lame, because it didn't address all the things I was curious about were then not answered.
Yeah.
And then if you try to criticize it, people are like, well, how many did you complete all four stories? I'm like, no, because I played the game 80 hours and I completed it. I got the credits. Well, you can't even talk about the game until you play the game 4 times. Like, well, then they made a bad decision when they were making this game. All right. It's like Pokemon did it right. You have 2 versions with the same story, and you just have some tradable Pokemon or something,
Yeah. And Fates did the same thing with Conquest and whatever I forget what the other ones were called. But it was, if you wanted the whole story, you had to do, I think it was 2 routes, and then you had like the joint route after. Or maybe it was a DLC that brought the 3rd path in there. I don't remember. That was a long freaking time ago. But it was the same thing. But thankfully for that one, I didn't have a lot of money to buy a lot of different games, so I had plenty of time to play it multiple times. So that one worked because I was broke, right? But so I think for my channel, and I've talked about this before to some extent, but I really do think I'm going to start limiting how many gachas. I don't want to just be a gacha channel. And I know that I'll probably lose some subscribers, and I'm going to confuse the shit out of the YouTube algorithm, and it's probably going to take some time for me to get traction. But I was sitting here thinking about it, over the last couple of weeks, and I'm like, my channel started with Minecraft videos getting 0 to 7 views at best. And here I am. Like, I'll publish a video and get 7,000 views. So I know that it feels a little bit like self-sabotage, and I'm going to have to ride the wave of like a dip in views to bring in an audience that is more variety based. But I think I'd rather start making that transition now and start playing games I care about. Like, I've really debated picking up the new Pokemon game that's kind of like Animal Crossing. We talked about this last night too. And part of it is I just don't like the fact that it's $70. Like, I feel like that's a little bit of a fuck you moment from Nintendo.
That's what Nintendo does. They usually make good games, but then they make them full price for all of existence.
Melissa, you're not allowed to unsub. I'm sorry. She said, not just gotcha. That's it. I unsub. But like, I love cozy games. I always have. And I love Animal Crossing. And I'm like, okay, Pokemon, I can talk to my kids about. They'll be interested. Obviously, if you're going to make a transition on your channel, you should do something that has a lot of traction. Pokemon is going to get a lot of traction. Let's just be honest about that. And I genuinely think I'll like that game. But then also things like Ball Pit, things like I said, Castlevania coming back is huge for me. There's so many other indie games I've been looking at, or even like I do an annual playthrough of Cyberpunk. I play that game every year, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll just stream that game. Now, the only problem with that game is it's really hard to stream that on YouTube because of the game that it is. So maybe I'll have to throw that one on my Twitch channel. I really dislike Twitch as a business. So
yeah, Twitch sucks as a viewer. Although it still has all the viewers on it because there's a whole culture there. But yeah, I always watch streams on YouTube now.
Yeah, I pretty much I've thought about too, like even like maybe just switching over and also having, because I don't mind dual streaming, my computer can handle it, but maybe like my vertical streams I don't do on YouTube, but I throw those over on TikTok. And I don't want or expect everybody to go to both platforms or anything like that, but it would be easier for me to grow a new part of the audience on a different platform who isn't watching me for Gacha than it would be to just do it on YouTube. So I think I'm going to start transitioning the channel to be more variety based, while still, like, I'm always going to cover Persona. I love this game. Arknight still has me entertained, so I'll stick there. NTE, I'm going to give it another go, but it didn't wow me. Their changes are going to have to be fantastic for me to sit on that game. And here's the thing, I'm not going to play that and Arknights. it will be an either or. I don't have time to play 2 open world gacha games right now. Like it just doesn't exist for me.
I mean, I watched you play for I don't know, maybe it was a half hour, and I made a list of 10 things I didn't like about that game.
Oh yeah, I remember
that was like
talking
how
about
quick.
that.
That was how quick it rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, mm-mm.
Well, and that's my thing.
No,
Is
thank you.
the only thing that really is still kind of pulling me in is the fact that you can do multiplayer. But in beta, they had it implemented in the worst way possible. And so it would be a game that could be fun because I could play with community members if they fix those problems. But then also there's just, I don't know, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of all the things I didn't like about NTE, but there's a reason I didn't put a single video out for it. It's not that I don't have 20 hours of video of it. Like I recorded a crap ton for that game and I was just like, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
like Arknights, even though I have my issues with it and I've dropped it, it did wow me in the beginning, like right away. I was like, oh man, this is again, I don't like the combat, but it was like the factory stuff was really fun. And the story beats were not necessarily that original, but they were like enjoyable enough. But it was like the world exploration was fun. I'm inherently very uninterested in being in a city. Like Cyberpunk does it in a very interesting way, but like I know this about me as a video gamer. Every time I'm in a big city, I'm trying to leave. It doesn't matter if it's in Skyrim. I'm in like I fast travel to the city. I want to get out of the Imperial City. It's too big. There's no monsters around. I want to be in the woods. And then it's like I can't tell you how much in Witcher 3, that giant ass city. There are some fights there and stuff, but I don't want to be there. I want to be outside in the swamps with the bog witches and stuff. Like I go back there only as necessary. So
Witcher
I'm like an
3 is
anti.
so good.
I love Witcher 3. I'm like an anti-big city guy. I love going to the towns with the shops and stuff, but like I hate being in giant cities because I feel like I got to go so far to get anywhere of like what I'm here for. So the whole game taking place of this NTE or whatever taking place in the city, I'm like, I like Cyberpunk, and I had to get over that to play Cyberpunk because you get to kill people. The whole big thing is you're killing people, so you could kill anybody, right? That's like I'm always in the danger.
When the thing is like. And do I expect NTE or any open world gacha game to have the level of single player depth that a Cyberpunk would have or a Witcher 3? No, I don't. But like where Cyberpunk, you can run around and something always ends up happening. And that is a part of what made it feel so alive. So first of all, I've double bought. I have it on PS5 and I have it on PC, but I pretty much only play it on PC. But whenever you turn a corner, either a cyber psycho mission pops up or there's like a cop thing, or you'll just get like a random mission out of nowhere. Plus on top of that, you've got all the handler side missions, and it's so dense and the atmosphere was done so well that city feels like it could be a real city. Now, obviously it's a video game and everything, right? Like I'm not saying like it feels like I'm walking downtown in New York City, but like it feels like it's a real, like it could be a real place. And then they did the expansion and you go into Dogtown, and it's believable that this like walled off crime city basically could live right next door to Night City. And they made that work. And then you have all the choices that actually matter. Then you go to NTE and it's like, yes, it's a city. Yes, you have NPCs walking around, but just like I'm in Persona 5X right now and there's characters walking around me, but I'm never going to walk down the street and get like a police scanner going off, telling me that there's a cyber psycho. Like it's atmospherically alive, but it doesn't feel alive. Like, do you know the difference I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but in Cyberpunk, can you play a really bad version of Power Wash Simulator?
I'm right. I guess so if you're using blood to spray things.
I think NTE it maybe has a little more gameplay diversity. You could put on a bullet point on a graph to some corporate head. But no, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, it's like Night City feels alive in a lot of ways, and there's always like, I was like, hey, I got to go that way, and then they're like, well, there's like 7 cops fighting 7 gang members over here. I might as well go kill everybody and just for fun see what they drop. And it's like, oh, here's one of then a gig comes up. They're like, we need you here. We need you to kidnap this person. And I'm like, you mean go in and kill everybody? Let's do it.
Well, and I love too, you can play it so many different ways. Like every year I do a new kind of playthrough. Like I've not done the same playthrough twice, but they have, my last playthrough was a shotgun only playthrough. And I went cause they have like nods to Edge Runners, the anime in there, and you can get Rebecca's shotgun. And so I played, once I got to the area that you can get that, I went and found it and I played the rest of the game with her shotgun. And
Hell
everything
yeah.
I did was basically like, how can I live long enough to blow everything up? And like anytime they're like, this mission requires discretion, I'm like, the fuck it does.
Hmm.
I'm like, discreet my ass. Like I'm gonna blow everything up. And it's just
Yeah,
so funny because
listen,
it does stuff.
they've seen your track record. They know how you get jobs done.
Yeah, yeah.
They asked you to do this job, they're asking for the shotgun.
Mhm. But I think my next playthrough, I might do like the John Wick build, which is predominantly handguns, which I've not
Like
done a handgun build.
akimbo pistols or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, because I've done a sledgehammer only run, which was so cool. Like you just basically go with gorilla arms and you don't use any guns and you can have a sledgehammer. And I'm like, and that's so satisfying. But, and I've done a version of a cyber hack build. But like that's the thing is like you can play that game multiple times and have different experiences and the city feels alive. And even though the missions end up being the same if it's like your fifth playthrough, it feels different because the mechanics can be different every time you play it. Whereas like, NTE to bring it full circle back there, I'm always going to have a 3-button combo on the next operator. And the only real difference is the flashiness of their moveset. Like it's not inherently a different game. It's not inherently a different style, right?
I can't tell you how annoying it is. Like I like RPGs and I like gotcha games for some aspects, but like I can't tell you how fucking like mind just like I get so mad when I play a gotcha game, and every time I open a treasure chest, I know what it is from 200
Mm-hmm.
feet away. I know what's in there. It's 20 currency and some shit gray weapon. It's never gonna be like, "Holy, you just found the new legendary shotgun."
Oh
It's
yeah.
never gonna be that in 1,000 hours. It'll never be that. A new character is gonna come in and they're like, "Hey, we're a bad guy," and I'm like, in a JRPG, are they gonna join my party? And in a gotcha, I'm like, I wonder how much money they're gonna be to unlock. They're not just gonna
Yeah.
randomly join my
Which
party
patch are they
and
coming
then
in?
be. Yeah, it's just like they're so the monetization of gotcha is just absolutely it's always a negative on the gameplay experience. The
Mm-hmm.
advantage is longevity and the ability for constant progression. Always, you're never at the end, right?
Yeah.
So there are positives, but I can't tell you like I hate seeing chest and gotcha games. I'm like, let me guess, some dog shit. 20 currency.
Yeah.
How much do I need for a pole? 3,000.
Yeah, and you're gonna get 3 materials that
Cool.
let you level a weapon. Like, it's and I keep having this conversation in my YouTube comments where everyone gets their favorite game will compare another game to it, and I really want to see the next game that's like the next Genshin that shifted the genre. You didn't have the level of open world gacha games. And the whole criticism back then was what it was copying Breath of the Wild, but it was new for the space. It was invigorating for the space, and I thought that was great. And I'm waiting for the next gotcha game that goes that direction. That says, you know what, we've seen all this genre, but we haven't done X. You know what I mean? Like, and I know there's like rhythm-based games, like there's a new one coming out, and that you could argue is kind of in that realm, but there have been rhythm-based games before in gotcha. But like that's what I'm waiting for is the one that says, have you thought about this type of pull? Like not costumes, not characters, but this other thing that none of us have thought of. Like who has that innovation behind them?
Like, and that's what I loved about Octopath Traveler
Mm.
COTC is the 8-player combat where you could, you have a front row, back row, and you could switch individual rows. Like they straight up Chained Echoes, maybe the greatest RPG ever made, straight up used like basically that system. The system was so good that for Octopath Traveler 0, they didn't bother trying to change it. They just like kept it. So Octopath Traveler COTC actually was close to being that but it just didn't catch on, right? It just
Yeah.
like for one, because it was never on PC. It's still not on PC. It's still a mobile only,
Gotchas
which
have
is
to go
brutal.
to PC these days.
Yeah, yeah. It just like I don't know why they didn't. But like I am hoping. I don't think Suikoden's going to be that one. I think it's going to be a pretty safe system. I hope it's better than the normal Suikoden combat because Suikoden has kind of bad combat in my opinion.
Okay.
In like Suikoden 1 and 2, the combat's just like not that good. They're fun games, but it's not like there's not this strategic depth that I've gotten used to in like even like Final Fantasy 10,
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm hoping for like what's the next gotcha that's not just like here's like every stupid gotcha is the dumbest name too. It has to be they go with the acronym first. All right, what is a IQP. Is IQP gotcha? Like, no, it's not. Well, it's okay. It's iteration transmission protocol. There we go. We got our gotcha name, guys. You just find the acronym that no one's taken and then add three stupid like words that aren't connected. Chaos Zero Nightmare. Fuck you. You know, it's like Game of Shadow, Genesis War. You know, it's like, God.
Stop.
I hate you.
So Beast Mode just said Animal Crossing gotcha game. So first, I'll say there actually was an Animal Crossing gotcha game as Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. I played it for quite a while. And then they made like a single player version of it, which I think you can still get. And I think they put it on Switch. And then Hoyoverse has an Animal Crossing game they're working on right now. I've actually reached out to them to see if I could partner with them for that one, because if I could do a cozy game as a gotcha game like that, you know, blends two genres together that I'm interested in. Perfect. Yeah. So it looks like Animal Crossing and it has multiplayer.
There's a lot of cozy gotcha games that exist, but they're not like new. It's like the Farmvilles,
the Isekai World and shit like that.
And well, I was just thinking of other, but there's a lot of games that are like not combat focused games, but they still have a big emphasis on like gotcha mechanics in general. So, but I want the AAA version of that. I would not play it, but like the AAA version of that, like what does it look like when they actually put in real effort into these things, you know?
So Kiz just said, check out my new game, Absolute Super Sentai or ASS.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect acronym for one. That's the thing is like, I always joke about it and I just don't have the time, the talent or whatever to do it right now or the ability to invest in it. But I have like a gotcha game in my head and it's basically would be like a satire on the entire genre, but like I could make it work. Like I guarantee I could make it like a big thing. And it would be so many like jokes on the tropes and all the different things. And it would be absolutely fucking stupid, but it would be so fun.
It's so I hate like gotcha games also always have some story arc, especially COTC as merchant as one of the class. There's always these story arcs of these characters, of these people being evil merchants. That like where this medicine is $10 million. Like it's not right to overcharge for things. And I'm like, you're a gotcha game. Well, how dare you put this in your game, you pieces of shit. And it's like, I feel like lots of gotcha games will have like some story about like doing the right thing, even at the cost of oneself, is like the most antithesis to your entire manipulative model.
Give me a gotcha game where the protagonist is just a fucking dinosaur who wants to eat cavemen. Like just make it completely off the wall different.
Yeah. But then he has really cool hair
and giant boobs.
And he just goes like,
he's got to have big boobs, otherwise you can't be a gotcha game. So those
Dino
of you wonder,
Senpai.
yeah, Raptor Senpai, I miss you. The game from Hoyoverse that they're working on, in case you guys were wondering, is called Petite Planet. I just pulled it up on my phone. That's why I was typing on.
I think I've heard of that.
It literally looks like Animal Crossing, but made by Hoyoverse with some multiplayer. It truly just looks like you're just doing fucking Animal Crossing with a different skin.
Can I be honest? There's one gotcha game that never came out to the United States, and I think it's now closed, that I was really excited for. There was a tile tactics game that was Full Metal Alchemist, and I was fucking ready for that. I'm such a sucker for Full Metal Alchemist, just as much as I am for Persona. So I would absolutely play the shit out of a Full Metal Alchemist game.
So the manga I told you about that I should sell. I have the complete collection of Full Metal Alchemist sitting on my shelf right there, and I realized
Brotherhood or the original.
The manga, so the original.
Okay. I didn't know, but Brotherhood's based off the manga. That's right.
Yeah, Brotherhood is the better adaptation.
They
of the
remade the anime.
Manga. Yeah. Which also Brotherhood is fantastic. I love Brotherhood.
Brotherhood is a controversial. Quick aside. Full Metal Alchemist regular anime is better for like 15 episodes, and then Brotherhood is best for the rest. Brotherhood rushes through the content we've seen before and doesn't give as much time to the early storylines because it's trying to get to like where the new stuff is. But the original Fullmetal Alchemist really takes its time on these older storylines that are for beat the same, but they'll like take place over more time in general. And then Brotherhood is like just way better in general, especially after you get to a certain point.
For sure. It's not out yet, Melissa. Petite Planet. You can pre-register, and they've got there's some like player testing they've been doing. So I think there's some people that have access to the game, but it's, as far as I'm aware, it's not fully launched. I'll go check the App Store too, but I didn't think it was. If that somehow flew its launch under my radar, I'd be surprised. There's another Gacha game that I'm actually getting kind of excited for, and I have to go find the name. Yeah, it's not open yet. It is all the same Gacha bullshit, but it's a side scroller. So it's like a Metroidvania style, but as a
That's
Gacha
pretty
game.
cool.
And I'm like, at least that's different. And now it's probably still action combat with dodging, but you know, whatever, it feels different.
Like, but like I'm looking. There's a game called Mongil Stardive. That sounds like a Hoyo game coming out.
That
I
sounds
don't know.
familiar.
They like because it sounds like Honkai Star Rail. To
Yeah,
me.
oh, true, fair.
But
yeah.
but it's kind of like how High Guard was just like a whatever a synonym or whatever for Overwatch. Instead of Overwatch, it was High Guard.
Yeah.
And that's pretty funny.
Turn-based
strategy, Neo Artifacts. Maybe I'll play this, but I know I look at it, and it's gonna have big ass tits in it. And I just half the time they do.
Yeah. I like. Do you know who Styx is in the Gacha creation community? STIX. Styx.
I don't.
STIX. So he's one of the bigger ones. He gets flown out to like basically every event by all the Gacha leaders or community or companies, and he cracks me up because every once in a while I'll catch one of his videos, and like I watched one yesterday because he was talking about all the ones that are coming out in March and April, and I was like, oh, is there something I don't know about? And every game he basically like does comments on the females. He's like, oh, this one has big assets. And I'm like,
Yeah.
It's every single one. And he's like, I can't say too much about this game because I've got a sponsored video coming up. I can't say too much about this game because I'm sponsored to do a video for them later. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you made it like from a Gacha space. Like he's like one of the bigger ones. And I'm like, how do I get someone to make me an offer to do a 10-minute video for every freaking game that comes out? Because that adds up.
Yeah, just someone invite me. I'll sponsor your game.
Oh yeah.
Although, for the most, I mean, I may not play it.
Is he
for
so
very
drama,
long.
Melissa? I didn't know that. I've only caught I see some of his videos. I don't actually watch a ton of creators because I don't want their style to influence my style too much. I do still watch some to get news. Like I said, the video I watched where I didn't know every game coming out next month. And then someone said the Resident Evil game that came out 3 months ago is already ended EOSing. I was going to look to cover that game because I love Resident Evil. And I looked at it and I'm like, that looks like a pile of ass. Like it does not look like it could be fun. Oh, I won't be like Styx. Don't worry. There's
nothing wrong with farming some drama.
Yeah. So one of the big games that a lot of creators got invited to create content for is Dragon Traveler. I had a very lucrative offer twice for that game, and I turned it down both times. Not because I can't make a video for it, and they were gonna give me like the media server, which if you're a content creator, getting the media server is the best thing because you're getting advanced into all the things coming out. It'd be like if I knew all the next patches for Arknights because I'm in the media server. I'm not, but like that would be like the equivalent. And I looked at their website and I'm like, there becomes a level of the goonerousness of these games that I draw a line at. And unfortunately that game hit that line for me. And I'm like, fuck, it would be nice to cash in.
Yeah, no, if a game is a Gooner game, it has to be exceptionally fun for me to play, which is why I really liked CZN. I thought CZN was like super fucking fun to play, but it was too Gooner, but not too Gooner, where it's like all I really care if it's fun.
That game went like, I think they added 20% Gooner every banner that came out after. Like they just upped the ante a little bit more each time.
I can't believe that there's NTE and Ananta or whatever, both coming out in similar times. And if you told me they're different games, which I know you have, it's like I almost don't believe you. I'm like, is this not the exact same game?
Here's my prediction.
They're both urban open world RPGs.
My prediction is NTE, because it's coming out first, is going to hold over until Ananta comes out. And then 80% of NTE is going to walk over to Ananta, and it's going to just have like that core base of players that are left in NTE that truly just really enjoy the game or feel like they've invested too much time into it to leave. But Ananta is like so far, at least from what it seems, is NTE with better combat, more interesting characters, and physically faster, so it feels less boring. And it also has Spider-Man swinging. And I'm like, well, how do you, like, NTE, when you want to like glide across the city, it's the slowest damn mechanism. Like you just sit there and you're just like, And then
There we
Ananta's
go. I'm
like,
back.
I'm fucking Spider-Man. Like, so I think Ananta is going to crush it. And Ananta is a non-character gacha. They're doing costumes, cosmetics, and cars. Is
Okay.
their
So
style.
like a Final Fantasy VII Gacha would do, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't really do new characters that much. They do weapons for characters. Weapon banners suck, but there are games that's like, listen, how are you going to pull for new characters in a Final Fantasy VII game? You know?
Yeah, yeah. So Eugen Ananta is a gacha. It's just a gacha very similar to how DNA did it, where the gacha isn't for the character. You can still be a gacha game and not do it for characters. Gacha just means that you have a paid mechanic in which you have a random chance to obtain an item. So a mystery box of sorts. And that's all gacha is the monetization is largely influenced by a random chance to get something that you have to pay for. So it is categorically a gacha game. It's just not doing it for characters.
And all these Gacha games coming out look terrible to me.
Dude, they really do. Like there's a handful that I've reached out to the developers, or like I try to. Like I don't know how to contact half these people. But like I reached out to Silver Palace, because that one I like the world, because it's very like Victorian steampunk kind of setting with vampires and werewolves. And I'm like, okay, I like every one of those things. Now, do I think it looks revolutionary in the combat? Not necessarily yet, but it's enough to at least make me interested in checking it out. I still need to reach out to the one for the 2D side scroller. That one is high on my list of looking at. Then there's the, like I said, the Animal Crossing type game, which has me interested. But then there's probably 6 or 7 others that if you put them in a web page and you just put one screenshot next to each other, I would think it's the same game. And I'm just looking at different screenshots from the same game.
It's crazy. I mean, I'm looking at the Gacha revenue as well. Just like the games that are on top are still just like the number one game.
Mm-hmm.
The number one game of February or whatever was Genshin Impact.
Yeah. I mean, Genshin
and
got
Wuthering
definitely,
Waves.
Yeah, those two games definitely got the best impact from COVID. Like they had the right mechanics, the right model at the right time. And this whole scene, which tells me it's gonna have to change soon, reminds me of, do you remember after World of Warcraft came out, the next like 7 MMOs tried to be World of Warcraft with a different coat of skin?
Yeah, it was the WoW killer. Everything was the WoW killer.
Yeah.
And WoW is still going and they're all dead.
Exactly. To me, Genshin, Wuwa, those are the WoWs. That's your Final Fantasy 14 and your World of Warcraft. Then you have a couple other really solid games that aren't as popular, and that's your Guild Wars, right? So like Guild Wars, I love the Guild Wars franchise. I played the shit out of Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. And so you got a couple gacha games that are in that space, and then everything else is your niche. And at some point, someone's going to do something differently that is not the World of Warcraft, right? Like in the MMO space. And it's the same thing in gacha to me right now, is somebody's going to have to break that mold and stop trying to be the Genshin killer, stop trying to be the Wuwa killer, and be the next original IP that just fundamentally shifts it completely. Oh, I used to play WildStar. That was a good game.
I mean, even Fate Grand Order is still going like strong. Oh, like a lot of these games are just obviously super popular. I'm hoping. I mean, I think Suikoden's gonna flop because nothing. I even if I look up upcoming gachas, nothing even mentions Suikoden as existing.
Yeah.
How come I only like games that no one else knows about? It's because they're not just like anime big titty games.
Yeah.
It's like there's like 9 articles for games I've never heard of that are just like the most cookie cutter things I've seen. And then there's nothing about something that's like, oh, here's something based off an old franchise.
Oh, yeah. DNA is going to die, by the way. Did you see they got hacked?
Duet
Night Abyss. It's the one that came out a few months ago that has a so there's no character gacha. It's like for skins and shit. And you can like grind it out. But I tried to play it. I really liked the story. I thought the story was actually good. And then the combat just, I don't mind grinding, but it felt too floaty was always my biggest issue with it. But in any case, while they were on Chinese New Year, some guy hacked their servers, and basically when you try to log in, it'd pop up a message from him that was basically like ripping into that company. He's like, look at how unsafe their shit is. And did you know they did this, this, and this? And it like, they came back from their, vacation or whatever you want to call it. They didn't even address it right away. They just put out a promo for the next version of the game. And then everyone's like, are you just not going to talk about the fact that you lost complete control of your servers for a few days there and nobody could log in? And there was like a sign on the window basically from the hacker that's like, haha, this shit sucks.
We did this.
Is my credit card safe? Like, what are we doing here? So yeah, that's
Anyway,
gonna kill them.
New weapon coming
Yeah.
out, new character.
Wet City Girl 517 coming out July 5th.
We've made her breast 1 cup size bigger as an apology.
Yeah, exactly. She has a smaller skirt than we intended. Oh, you didn't hear about that chick? Yeah, go look it up. It's dude, when you find the screenshot, like it's not fake. Like that shit happened. It was crazy. And then the other thing too is like with gacha games, all these ones that are coming out that look so similar to one another. I mean, it's a coin toss anymore if they're just going to EOS or after a month or two. Like there's some bigger names, like there was no doubt in my mind that Arknights would do better, etc. But I think probably a handful of these ones that come out in the next month are going to have okay-ish launches, and they're going to die after people do the first batch of content, and then no one's going to come back. And I don't want to invest too much more of my time in these projects that I don't think can last.
It just eugenics reminded me that I could play a game for 200 hours without spending more money and have a really, really good time.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, I'm having such a good time and I'm so excited to play more today.
Yes. Yes.
It's all because every decision the game has made, every decision in the entire game is all about how do we make this more fun? What can we do to make this more fun, that more fun, more engaging, more this, more addicting, more fun? There's never a point where they're like, well, how do we monetize this? The game is just you buy it in the store. Gacha games are such a like it. I don't even want to call it a cancer because gacha games have some good aspects and cancer doesn't. But
fair.
They're basically a cancer. That they're a cancer in remission, maybe I don't know, but they're just so toxic. They're so toxic to fun. They go monetization first and then fun second,
yeah.
and which is important. That's what all games do, I guess. But when you choose monetization consistently over time, that's different than just an upfront cost.
This will probably be my last piece for this podcast, but I want to get your thoughts on it. But I'm not sure if you saw the news, but 3 people got arrested and are getting prosecuted for being prominent leakers in the gacha space. And I forget what groups it is, which government it is, but they're actually starting to create legislation and true consequence to leaking gacha game assets, which you could then, obviously expand into any game. But certain companies are signing up with this government entity to basically be like, hey, we want to be part of this program, this pilot program. Arknights will be one of them. So Griffline, Hypergriff Studios, they're going to be one of them. And basically what they're saying is that they're getting caused true damage because, or if you don't know, companies put in these big marketing spends for these games and they want to control that messaging. And honestly, I think it's best when they do. As cool as it is to sometimes know and get a hint of what's coming, the surprise is what helps them generate people's interest to come into the game. And so now they're really cracking down on it. And it's a big reason why, if you've ever noticed, I don't cover leaks and I won't speak to leaks directly. I even go as far as like, if I happen to catch it on my Discord, I'll delete it. And it's intentional because 1, it just burns you as a content creator. And 2, now they're going to start like actually prosecuting people. I think it's a great thing for the industry. Honestly, I'm happy for it.
I think it will, and I think it'll hasten the death of gachas in general, but I'm not against it. Like this is one thing me and Kage like are fully in sync on. We both are like, hey, we're okay. We both think eventually the world will move past gachas in general. I think people will eventually just accept that gambling is more addicting and it's better at fixing that buzz.
Yeah.
But I think like, so if they do this and this is very anti-consumer, I think that every time they could put a strike against themselves in terms of being consumer unfriendly, I think that is I think that's probably good. Even though I don't necessarily like, I hate it when games have been out in China for a year and then every time you're like, hey, look at this character, like, yeah, F tier, they suck, easy skip.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this character, you have to save for 7 months to get Futaba and then you could just win everything. I'm like, maybe that's true, but the game is less fun if you're always trying to look at the future a year and a half from now. Like, just play what's in front of you. I don't know. So I hate it when games have a huge tail that is ahead of us, or maybe it's the opposite, a huge head that's ahead of us. So even though I don't, well, yeah, I don't want things spoiled like that. I also think that players like that stuff, and I think that this could get people. Anyone that joins this is likely just not going to play those gotcha games.
Yeah, well, I
But
think
people are weak and they just give money to everything anyway. So who knows?
well, and there's a comment saying regular people love leaks. I agree. I think regular people. I think everybody likes leaks to some extent. Like it can be exciting, but it's so you're flat out stealing assets at that point. You are there is no way to sugarcoat that. You are stealing assets that are not yours to steal. But then beyond that, again, there's the whole marketing thing. I would hope that as they go through this legislation and they realize they don't want these leaks, that maybe what it actually spawns for the companies is to be better at their marketing, to better establish like, hey, this cool character is coming out or this cool mode. Like think about what the leakers are leaking and understand what people want, right? But I'm with you. Like I think Foresight is a total burnout. We're stuck with it with P5X. It is what it is. But I get excited when games have simultaneous releases because I don't know if Susie McShield Girl, who I think is the most awesome looking character ever, is the trash tier or the top tier. I know that I'm going to pull her. I know that I'm going to build her and I'm going to have fun using her. And to me, and to your point, I want to have my fun now in front of me and not feel like I'm investing in something that will go away to a garbage tier because 6 months from now, I know it's already happening in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's for someone that plays and likes gotcha games. I'm such a gotcha hater. It's like I eat McDonald's, but I'm like, yeah, McDonald's sucks. But but I still eat McDonald's. I'm like, yeah, but it's still convenient. It's still not that bad,
Yeah.
Yeah, it kills me and it's overpriced and it doesn't taste that good, but I still eat McDonald's. That's what gotcha games are to me. They're just like McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, listen, I'm a consumer.
Yeah, and there's comments between Foresight and leaks. Foresight and leaks are not the same thing. I don't put them in the same category. Like Foresight is literally just taking information that's public, that's already being played and used, and you just know that you have a delay in getting it. That's not leaking to me. The comment here is like the twins thing was super fun. Somebody leaked the twins to me probably 3 to 4 weeks before they were announced. I was very well aware of the twins and most of their kit. Now, I didn't have every specific nuance of their kit. Like I didn't know completely that you could switch the persona skills in each of the skills. I understood who they were. I knew they were coming. I knew that they were multi-elemental. And I knew that they would have more than one function, but it wasn't like we didn't have the full information on like the way that they could become like a saboteur or how they would become something else. But I never, and I even think I put on the Discord for people not to talk about it, but that's what leaking is like, is somebody taking and pulling an asset from wherever they got it from and then sharing it publicly when it's not meant to be. And I was a little bit upset at the person that sent me that leak because I wanted to be more surprised. And then I had to sit on this information for weeks waiting for it to come out. Well, so Eugen, was it a leak or a data mine? The data mine is the act that gets you the information unless somebody is feeding you the information. The leak is then taking that information and then giving it out. So it doesn't matter if you were handed it to you by a company representative or you data mined it or somebody else did. The leak is when somebody gives that information outwards that should not be giving that information. And so somebody gave me that information. It was leaked to me. No, I didn't share it at all. I didn't give it to another soul, but they literally leaked that info to me. And there's a whole nother community that was well aware of that kit too.
Think of it as dick pics, okay? If you go on a porn website looking for pictures of penises, you're like, yeah. But if you open your phone and there's just a guy's dick that someone sent, you're like, what the fuck? You're just like this. I didn't want to see this. I didn't go looking for this. Why are you giving this to me?
Yeah.
This is not what I want to. I want to see it live in person. Okay.
Yes.
I don't want to see it weeks before I could have it.
Yeah. And so, by the way, guys, if you ever have leaks, don't send them to me. Like I can blanket statement tell you I don't want them. The only time I want to know that kind of information in advance is if I'm working directly with the developer, in which case I will 100% honor their NDAs and I will not be sharing that stuff with anybody. So I like to have the experience with you because also for me as a creator, Like the like things like the twins or whatever, like even learning the kid parts that I didn't already know, like sitting in a live stream with you, seeing the information for the first time and getting to speculate with you, that's fun. Or like Arc Knights, like we had a good idea that Tauntaun would be the next character because they put her in all the art, right? And we all got to sit back and be like, oh, well, what do we think her kit is? You know, will she be the next character? What do you think like her synergies will be? Like to me, that's part of the fun. Like I don't want to know everything in advance for no, good reason.
It's everyone just be patient. People need I know we're in a generation, everyone wants things now. I got to DoorDash it, I got to Klarna it if I can't afford it. All society is put it on a credit card, make it pay over for gotcha games, get the leaks, do this, read the just chill, man. Just enjoy it as it comes naturally.
Yeah.
Just see it when it comes out, enjoy it with everybody else in a community building event. And
yeah,
I don't know. I reflect society's problems on the gotcha players specifically. Not that gotchas cause society problems, but like I see what gotcha players do, and I'm like, this is a symptom of society being too like impatient or too consumer focused or too.
It's the TikTok mindset. Everything now.
Yeah.
4 seconds later.
And there is like, then I do it with the collection stuff too. It's like everyone likes collecting everything all the time. So I should just be less judgmental, but I'm saying, I think you'll find if you just take things as they come and you don't worry about planning for a year and a half in advance, and instead maybe you plan for your own future a year and a half in advance, you might enjoy your games and your life more.
Yeah. So Eugen says you can data mine from the game, so it's not stealing. That's actually not true. If you read the terms and services of most of these games, there's actually clauses that specifically state that it's against TOS to data mine. Like they put it in very specific language. And then the release of assets can be illegal. So don't take that thought process of yours and think that's true. Actually read the terms of services for every single game if you really want to know. But also, like, I don't, again, my issue isn't if you want to data mine your own client, like your own game, I don't care.
Yeah.
But if there's information that has not been revealed, that by definition is the leak. Don't leak info. I'm against it. Like, you guys can disagree with me, that's fine. But I am against the leaking of information in any video game. It's like Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat came out and somebody leaked the entire roster before the game was even out. And I'm like, well, there goes the fun of all the reveals, right? Like, I wanted to see Baraka show up out of nowhere.
Bro, like, imagine how much lamer it would have been. Imagine how lame it would have been if the whole world didn't find out Joker was in Super Smash Brothers the same time. Yeah. If the whole world didn't find out that Keanu Reeves was in Cyberpunk as one of the main characters at the same time. Like, those reveals were crazy. And if it was just like you read it in a PDF file somewhere that posted, like, you're like, oh, cool. Oh yeah, Keanu Reeves is going to be in that. That's crazy.
And Bladesy, I mean, Bladesy's comment is a nail to the coffin of what I just said. Genshin leakers just went to jail for data mining and leaking. Like, if you want to know if it's illegal or not, they're getting prosecuted. So that's a pretty damn good indication that it's illegal if you can actually go to jail. No, they were arrested. They're being prosecuted, Camille. I just read the story yesterday.
And also, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like things like pirating games. Like, I'm against pirating games in general, but like, I don't care if it's kind of a weird thing. Like, if someone pirates games, I'm not going to be like, wow, you're evil. Like, it's pretty low on the,
you're not cutting off a kid's head.
Yeah, it's pretty low on the bad things list, but it's like when people pirate games and then pretend they're doing the moral thing. Like, I'm doing a good guy thing. This is because this company is corrupt, and so I'm gonna play their game by pirating it. It's like, you're not doing the good guy thing. The good guy thing is to not play the game and have the discipline to not support them at all. You know, and it's not stealing. You know, it's not Robin Hood. You're not giving this game to the people that really need it, I guess. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It's like, I feel weird about people that do bad things, but then pretend it's good. I think that's just the human psyche. You don't like acknowledging that you're not one of the good ones in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. You know? Yeah. It's interesting because I'm watching the chat go back and forth about this whole, is data mining and leaking good or bad? And here's what I'll put it to. Okay. Forget about your opinion on one side of the fence or the other. put yourself in the shoes of a developer. You make this game, you plan out your launch, you invest a significant amount of time, resources, money, manpower, etc., and you want to launch this trailer at the Game Awards. You want to show Wua 3.4, or you want to show, Eugen's Grand Journey, the game, at the Game Awards. 3 days before that happens, your trailer gets brought online and you didn't release it. You cool with that?
It's like,
you're happy about
obviously,
that?
I feel like it's pretty obvious that data mining is negative and that you shouldn't do it. But it's also like, again, for me, it's like closer to the pirating games. It's not like that bad. It's not like I don't think you should go to jail for data mining, whether or not other countries agree with that, I suppose. But it's this people's work and product and IP, and they get to choose how they want to market it and how they want to deliver the product. It's not up to us to go against their will, to steal their stuff, find their stuff, and take it and post it without they didn't want to, right? The only reason, the only reason that it's even possible, legally, is because they can't make everyone sign an NDA, in the whole world, to play their game, which they kind of do, is the terms of service. But the terms of service can't make you, it could be like, oh, you can't do this thing, but if that thing is, the TOS can't make you break the real law. It doesn't override the actual laws. It's still just like an agreement. But
it depends on the country too, right? I think about the US. In the US, even if you could argue that it's not wrong, the action and penalty you get is whether or not you caused a provable monetary disadvantage to the company. And they can say, hey, by them leaking our media early, we were unable to control this $3 million marketing spend that we did. And so now we need to be compensated for the $3 million we invested. They caused a monetary harm by taking some assets and then releasing them without our permissions, right? So laws get very tricky when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I'm no lawyer, so I'm not going to sit there and try to pretend like I know all of them, but I have seen people get in trouble for similar situations. And again, to me, it's less about the strict legality, and it's more that it's just a dick move. Are you trying to justify a dick move at the end of the day?
Yeah. Let's say, I don't know, what's a good example? Putting your soda cans in the trash instead of recycling. That's like a 1 out of 10 on the bad scale. You probably should recycle, but it's like, who gives a shit? It doesn't really matter about the cans. And it's like this data mining and leaking stuff might be a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10 or something, but it's still on the scale. I still think it's silly to pretend like this is a noble thing to do that people should be doing. It's like, no, it's negative. It's just not it's not like an 8 out of 10 where it's like, oh, this is a crime. Maybe it is. Apparently it is a crime, but depending on where you are and which country and stuff. But
maybe maybe the next Palace will be like a developer of Gacha games, and we're going in to steal their data and leaking it, and that'll be our calling card.
Oh, and you're gonna have to
How meta would that be?
You're going to have to go collect poles to get through the doors, right? It's like, yeah, you need 3 Maltese to see if you can get the key to open this door.
Dude, if they did that as a Palace, just because of the meta commentary on themselves, that would be the best Palace Persona's ever had.
Gachas can't draw attention to the fact of what they are. They do everything they can to everything from the core. They have people grandstanding about doing the morally right thing and not taking advantage of people and all their story segments. They change the names of polls to be like, no, this is we're searching to save people from the abyss, and these are our sensors that we use to find them. And these are cognitive gems. This is they rename everything that way. It's as possibly far removed from what it actually is. So they'll never do it, but I would love it. I would love it.
It'd be funny. All right, my friends, I got to get going. I got to cook dinner here in a few minutes, so I got to bring it to a close on the podcast. Any final thoughts there, Platt?
Nope. I'm gonna take a nap.
Nice. I like that style too.
It's Sunday.
I'm gonna go make some deviled eggs. Good stuff right there, my friend. Awesome.
Rock on.
All right. Well, why don't you send us away then?
All right, guys. Thank you very much for another podcast. Joining us for another podcast episode with the Bear and the Platt. Guys, thank you very much. Per Platypus and Per Platybarapus 16-bit are out. A Berrypuss. Bye.
Bye. We are done recording. It is off.
Awesome.